Okay, and we're back.
And we're back from nowhere.
We recorded a little bit and it didn't make sense, so now we're not recording anymore.
The only things you need to know to update you from what we definitely just cut out and deleted is that I ate so much peanut butter, I might be on the verge of death.
Peanut buttosis.
Yes, I'm in full peanut buttosis.
A critical diagnosis.
So, while Cory is partaking in a beverage, I am trying to detox with some hot lemon water over here.
Aww.
Because I'm just swimming upstream in a river of peanut butter.
I have a story about lemon water.
Tell me.
So, when I was in college, I found out that lemon water could cut down on cravings for food.
Oh.
And if you've listened to our past episodes, you knew that I had a problem stealing my roommate's snacks. So I thought a decent way to combat that would be putting lemon juice or squeezed lemons in my water.
Lime?
No, just lemons. Just their yellower, fatter cousin.
God.
And I don't know that it actually works. I never really observed the true effects of it because the only thing it did was strip my enamel because I kept adding more and more and more and more and more lemon juice to my water to where I was basically using one of those lemon juice bottles, like the big ones, a week. Couldn't eat anything hot or cold, and I had to use Sensodyne for about 3 years.
Are your teeth okay?
They're better now. This was 7 years ago, but, not ideal. Not the best thing that you can do.
This episode is just going to be a PSA on not overdoing it with lemon water.
No, don't. I mean, don't. I mean, because it's one of those yeah, I could go to the gym and I could just moderate what I'm eating and eat better foods, but instead I'll just put a bunch of lemon in water, and I'll still keep eating shit. But no cravings, no more lemons, no more enamel. I'll drink wine.
I'll drink wine.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah, who are you?
It's a very existential question for 9 p.m.
I'm trying to prompt you to do your cold open that you wanted to do. For the love of God. Because we still haven't done it. And I don't have one, so I'm just going to roll off of you.
Oh, okay.
So you got to go, man.
Weren't you just telling me 10 minutes ago that if we plan it doesn't sound organic or fun? It's not a cold open, it's a lukewarm open.
It is, yeah. Wait, but I thought you wanted to do it.
I did. I don't know because I thought we were going to do it. Okay.
Vroom,
Somebody's in a hurry. Okay.
This is going well.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cory, and I am the fuck, kill, marry version of the 3 words roustabout, ragamuffin, and fuck. I forgot the third one was.
I think that works perfectly.
Fuck.
Oh, I just got a reduced noise notice.
Oh, because of me, because of you.
Mm.
The third word was roustabout. Did I say roustabout? Roustabout, rabble-rouser, and
roustabout.
ragamuffin.
Oh, ragamuffin.
Yes.
I'm Natalie, and sometimes I think about what a sunflower would taste like to just like hamburger it. That's a bad one. I don't like that one.
I like the visual though.
I need to stop talking about eating weird things, but that's most of the random thoughts that come to my mind. It's like, what if I ate my lotion?
What? Do you want my other one?
Sure.
Hi, I'm Natalie. And I'm the coffee table book that your local corner store is making using CCTV footage of you coming in and out at 2 a.m. looking for chips.
And I'm Cory, and I am existentially flattened by a Tonka truck every morning when I rise.
A Tonka truck.
A Tonka truck.
So not very flat.
A Tonka truck is huge.
Are Tonka trucks like little toy trucks?
No, they're real trucks. They make toy trucks of the Tonka trucks.
Are you sure?
Positive.
As a raised boy, I'm sure I had a car phase. And I just distinctly remember Tonka trucks being toys.
Because they made models of the real trucks. Am I wrong?
I mean, maybe they're not called Tonka. Are they called Tonka trucks? Oh, they are, I guess. I don't know. I'm confused. No, they must be real. Or, yeah, wait, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Maybe it was... Hold on.
They're
Let's
real.
See.
They're real.
But I want to see... I want to see, like, were Tonka trucks toys first?
Do you see it?
Yes. No, but those are just trucks.
Look, they say Tonka on the side.
Yeah, but I feel like okay, wait, hold on. I have the Wikipedia page pulled up. Okay, so we have
the
Tonka
Tuscany Motor Company in Elkhart, Indiana produces the full-size version of the Tonka truck.
But I want to know what came first.
Oh my god, you're right. I've been saying this my whole life.
Have you really?
I'm upset.
Wait, hold on.
No, they make the cars under the Hasbro name.
Do they really?
Yes, and I'm very upset because I've been saying this my whole life and nobody's fucking corrected me.
Because nobody knew.
I'm gonna burn my whole apartment building down. Cut all of this out. I'm upset. I need a better cold open.
No, I think we have to keep that in entirely.
No,
but you're allowed to have another
I'm
one.
upset about it. I've been saying this for years.
This is ideal podcast material.
I'm mad.
Welcome to the pathetic side of Rejection Mountain. It's okay. You're going to write a better poem than I am by the end of the episode, and you'll be the winner.
Not on Peanut Butter Brain.
Okay.
There's no hope for me.
I asked if you still wanted to record, and you said yes.
I thought I was fine until I started talking to another human.
It's okay. It's okay. You didn't know. You're from Pennsylvania. How could you know?
What?
I don't know. I was just trying to give you an out that didn't have something to do with you. What? Go off of where you were born rather than who you are.
Can we do another cold open? I'm thoroughly embarrassed.
Sure. I'm still keeping that one in, but we can do another.
No.
It's so funny.
I'm upset.
Are you actually upset or just Peanut Butter Brain upset?
I don't know anymore.
Do you want to talk about Carol Channing again?
No. The moment's passed.
How about Logan Lerman?
I do want to talk about Logan Lerman because here's the thing.
Okay.
I think he's great. I don't care what anyone else says. And this show is fucking phenomenal.
Have you seen Percy and the Lightning Thief?
That wasn't... Okay. I'm gonna step in here.
Oh, is
he
that
was
one?
Bad in that.
Yeah, is that like a one oddity movie?
That was the most poorly created movie. Can I tell you, that was my favorite book series for years.
One of mine too.
I loved those books. I got 15 minutes into the movie and said, absolutely not. Mm-mm. And turned it off, never watched it again.
Did you see that Disney is coming out with a new series for...
Yes.
Which
now
I think could be
that
good.
one looks good.
Who is your favorite character? Because I feel like you could give me the essence of Annabelle, but, we'll go with what you want.
Wasn't it Annabeth?
And see, she wasn't my favorite, so I don't need to know her name.
She was probably my favorite. Mm. But Thalia, I was also enthralled with her. Or Talia? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Zeus's daughter. Right. Zeus's daughter? Spoilers.
The tree that she comes...
Yeah, she was a tree, and then they put a blanket on her, and she's like, look, now I'm a woman.
She was real cool.
Yeah, I really liked her.
And then there were twins at some point who I remember being very, invested in. It was, Nico and something. I think I was in love with Nico. Sure. In some of the later books. I think that was, book 3.
Yeah. It is...
That was a long-ass time ago.
Yeah, in retrospect, it does make much more sense as a book than it does as a movie, where you had the headmaster was a centaur who was also in a wheelchair, and
Well, so he had a magic wheelchair to hide his horse half when he was, in society.
He couldn't have just been just two guys?
Well, no, because the horse half doesn't have its own consciousness.
No, but I'm thinking like visually.
Yeah.
If I were a standing horseman in reality, and then we're a sitting not horseman in the magic, that my face and my head would be at different places. So if somebody was talking to me in when I was in disguise as the wheelchair man, where are they looking?
At your face.
Yeah, but in reality, my face is 2 feet above where you're looking at my face.
No. So
you're looking directly at my horse
sitting
crotch?
In the wheelchair, but the wheelchair was magic, so it had space enough to hold his entire horse half.
So then where were his
legs?
Fake legs? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Fake human legs where his human torso ended.
Okay.
They didn't go into detail about it.
And I can see why.
You just have to suspend your disbelief.
And I can see why, because that makes no fucking sense.
Well, it's magic, so it doesn't have to make sense.
Okay, well, you can't just use that. I don't like fantasy series that just use, how did they get out of it? Well, magic, of course. Like, if you don't show me the rules of magic and why this person's magic is better than that person's magic and that magic is this magic.
I think
then it doesn't matter.
What happened with that is I think he fudged it a little bit on the opening when they kind of had to exist in the mortal realm.
Yeah.
As much as they did. And then when they got to Camp Half-Blood and they were living in the world of the gods, they didn't have to fudge it as much. So he was like, if I can just fudge it a little bit here, this all works.
But in general, not just even just in general in fantasy world building and fantasy shows or whatever, it's always I am the villain and I've studied for years and I'm the most powerful being in the world. And here comes some snot-nosed kid with just the power of belief and a little of mommy's kisses. He's going to defeat me because his magic is for some reason more powerful. You need to tell me why these stakes matter in order for it to matter.
But here's the thing. Star Wars tried to do that and said, midi-chlorians, and then everybody fucking hated it.
But also,
so
why?
I get where you're coming from.
Why is Luke?
When you try to logic out magic or science fiction, it doesn't. I don't think it has the same effect.
Even before midi-chlorians, why is Luke the most powerful Jedi in the fucking galaxy? He's been knowing about Jedis and what lightsaber wielding for maybe 5 years. Why is he the end all be all man?
People kept asking that, and their answer to it was midi-fucking-chlorians. And that's how we got where we are now.
But in the prequels, when midi-chlorians pops up, Darth Vader has the most midi-chlorians of any motherfucker in the goddamn galaxy. And if midi-chlorians are based on fucking DNA or whatever, if he doesn't get it on with somebody who's got midi-chlorians, i.e. Padme, then Luke's midi-chlorian count should be less than his. So DV should be way better than Lukey. That's what I'm saying. He should have chopped off way more than a hand.
Don't they talk in depth about the spiritual aspect of the Force as well?
I literally don't know. I've never seen Star Wars.
He had so much more that he cared about that was riding on him winning.
Oh yeah, the whole
I mean, and it's
we're at the same level, but I have hope and you have fear, and so I win.
What do you want, Cory?
I want.
You want magic to have physics.
Yes, I do. I want it to have rules, and then I want those rules to be slightly fudged, but I want it to have rules. Because if I don't know what your magic does, then who gives a shit?
But I think they're setting up the rules, and then when they're fudging them is where you're getting upset.
Here's what I want. No. I would like magical rules to be like packing a suitcase, where there's a certain amount of clothes you should actually put in the suitcase, but also it has that extra extending zipper to just add for a little more space. And if it's a cloth suitcase, it can extend out a little bit. Or if it's like a hard shell suitcase, doesn't extend anywhere. But what I don't want is a suitcase with a bunch of broken zippers where you're shoving shit in and socks are just flying all over the place and you're like, it's okay, I'll deal with it when I get to my destination. No, thank you, sir. I don't think so. I don't buy it. I don't want a trash bag full of your clothes that could be in any shape or size. I want to know exactly what I'm packing for and exactly what I'm getting.
Okay, so now that we know Cory has very high standards for
I
his
do.
sci-fi and fantasy.
Because that's
careful,
where the emotion comes from.
authors of the world.
The emotion comes, like, what is the point of world building if you're not building anything? You're just, like, making shit up.
Well, but I see what you're saying to a point. Like, I hate when TV shows or whatever like resurrect people, because then there's no stakes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think the same applies to a half horseman in a wheelchair. Like, the stakes aren't as high with that one. It doesn't bother me as much. Because that's what I'm... Like, that's a point where I think he set up the rules and fudged it a little bit. Or the same thing with Star Wars. They did set up the rules, but then if you want the good guy to win, you gotta fudge it a little bit.
But sometimes I don't want the good guy to win. And I don't want him to win... And I don't want him to win just because of hope. I don't want him to win just because he has, like...
But, don't we see that all the time in real life? Like, this is the worst example ever, but, like, look at the American Revolution. Yeah. Logically, there's no way we should have won. Our forces were, like, nothing in comparison to the British forces that they were sending over. There's no reason we should have won. We were like a ragtag, scrappy army of Minutemen. But somehow, because we had so much more riding on it than the Brits.
But, like, there wasn't a point in the American Revolution where, like, we were at a very low point and we're like, I don't know how we're going to pull this out. And George Washington said, I forgot to mention I have this secret nuclear bomb I've been hiding until this very moment.
No, but it's, I mean, but, like, I think that type of shit always they do happens. That for... Yeah, and I think they do it for dramatic effect to wrap it up in an hour and a half or whatever. I mean, no, they didn't have a secret, like, nuclear bomb, but, like, that winter that they were, like, crossing the Delaware, and none of them had shoes, they were all riding on George Washington, like, his speeches.
I bet he had shoes. I bet George Washington had shoes.
George Washington probably did have shoes. Listen, but I'm not saying the founding fathers weren't problematic.
No, so I was literally thinking about this earlier. I like maybe an hour before we started recording that I was like in Into the Woods. What dumb luck that the spell that can undo all curses and give the baker and his wife their children can only happen under a blue moon, which comes but once each 100 years. And that happens to be in 4 days. Bit of a coincidence, don't we think?
Well, but no, because there must have been 100 other bakers and bakers' wives who really wanted a child and were wishing that there was something to lift the spell, but weren't lucky enough for it to happen under the blue moon.
But she's their next door neighbor. Like, she put a curse on them. But, like, imagine if it is a 100-year cycle, and she's like, and the curse must be broken under new blue moon, and the blue moon comes 50 years from now, like, and then there you go. Then you have to wait 50 years to have a child. In my mind, arguably more interesting.
So what I'm getting from this is that you don't like to suspend your disbelief when it comes to fantasy and science fiction.
I will. Here's the thing. You set the rules of saying a blue moon comes once each 100 years. Okay. That I buy. Okay. There are no blue moons. You want to tell me that there's a witch who told these people that they were going to be infertile for the rest of all eternity and their legacy will never have another child. Okay. I get that. Now, it's too coincidental that, oh, you're singing a song about wanting to have a kid and you can't have a kid? Wow, here, I'm going to stumble into your bakery and tell you, here's the reason you can't have a kid, but don't cry yet, because in 4 days, something that only happens once, but once each 100 years will come along, and you can have a big baby of your own, and I'll become a hot bitch. that is just like, I don't know. It's too tiny for me.
If you don't have that, then you don't get a story. If it's not for these, like, massive coincidences,
I know,
you don't ever get a story. Look at Sweeney Todd. Do you know the like storyline of Sweeney Todd?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what if he hadn't wandered into her pie shop? What if she hadn't happened to like
I've had a crush on him for 70 years.
Right. Like, what if he wandered into someone else's shop and then just like ambushed the judge? Or what if he wandered into someone else's shop and they were like, oh, you're looking for Lucy? She's that crazy bitch right there.
Then there you go. Then it's a completely different story of him trying to like nurse his wife back to health or try and get his daughter back from the judge who's already married her.
But that's not the story that they wanted to tell. Think of like the greatest Greek tragedies. I'm reading Song of Achilles right now.
Yeah.
And like, I haven't finished it yet. I don't know what this take on it is, but like, think about that story. His mother dipped him in the river Styx so he would be invulnerable. And then someone just happens to hit him on the heel at the exact point where she held on to him when she dipped him in the river Styx, the one point where he was invulnerable. Who gets shot in the foot in Greek battles? That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But the coincidence is what makes the dramatic story happen.
I don't know. I don't know. All I'm saying is that I don't like when the things are that nice and tidy because reality is not that nice and tidy. I don't want to learn the lesson that the story
Wait, but nothing in Into the Woods is nice and tidy.
Okay, that's fair.
There's all these coincidences, and then it all goes
here's the thing. The reason that I don't like this is because I used to be a very coincidence-heavy person, but nothing becomes of that. Like, sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes nothing means nothing. Like sometimes you give your number to a cute boy on the bus, and you think, oh, that's going to be the fairy tale, whatever, and we're going to be talking about our wedding, about how I gave my number on the bus to a hot boy, and that was it. And then sometimes he ghosts you, and that goes nowhere. Like, I don't want the coincidental love story. I want the, like, realistic you put in the work, and it turned out story.
Right, but that's a very specific genre.
I want Harry Potter to confront Voldemort when he's in his 40s. Like, don't go after him at 18, girl. You don't know
fantasy.
Shit.
Then don't read fantasy, because all of that
fantasy.
Is like that elevated, high stakes, crazy coincidences.
But I like fantasy because it's fantastical. Don't you hate me right now?
There's a lot of art that is holding up a mirror to society and shows you exactly how it is. And then there's a lot of art where the artists want to tell a different story, and it's heightened and it's stylized and it's not realistic in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. And it's still valid.
I'm just a nitpicker, is the thing.
Sure.
I watch a lot of those YouTube channels where they're like Cinema Sins, where they go through and they clock all of the annoying parts in movies that are wrong, or like how it should have ended, where they like rewrite movie endings of like how they actually should have ended. And so I naturally have a filter of
I hate doing that.
Okay.
Because it's like, who am I to say that whoever wanted to tell that story should have told it in a different way?
But are you telling me that like you'd Okay, so I will admit, when I was watching a lot of theory videos pre-Star Wars and pre, like, the Marvel movies or whatever, and people would come up with these wild madcap theories, and of course, nothing is going to be better than the imagination you have inside your head, because you've cooked up the perfect, most ideal version of whatever is going to be. And, like, people making theories about how General Snoke was secretly Mace Windu. Phenomenal. Loved it. Does it make any sense? Fucking I don't know. They gave a pretty good explanation for it, and I was like, I was all fucking in. And then you go into The Last Jedi, and Snoke dies, and nobody knows who the fuck he is. And then you go into the Final Skywalker, whatever the fuck that movie's name was, and he's just like a bitch in a vat who's just like Palpatine got resurrected somehow, which is literally in the beginning of that fucking movie. So like that's the shit that I don't like, is where there is clearly a movie that could have been done better or could have been done differently or something could have been added. And I know that like from script writing process to production to directing to movie companies, that like all that shit gets muddied and everybody's sticking their chef spoon and your creative gumbo. But I don't know. I don't know. Should we cut all of this? Was this just like a very intense conversation?
I really like a broad range of stories, so I kind of love just taking a story as it is. And not that I'm not critical of them sometimes, but I typically don't find myself like rewriting it how I would imagine it in my head. I'm just like, that was an interesting take. Didn't see it going down that path.
You have joy.
Oh, you've got the joy.
Oh, you're filled with wonder and whimsy as your natural default.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah. I do really try to get back to that, and I hate that I am so critical. And I think part of it is it becomes like when I'm trying to build a story and I'm trying to build a video and a short film or whatever, and I want to see all of the angles, because I don't want anybody to say, well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why would they have flown there when they easily could have driven? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think because I'm afraid of people being the me, then I'm constantly me.
Oh.
Yeah.
So wait, then like you self-edit during like writing?
Yeah, that's
stuff.
why I've never really officially had a short film finished, because I spend so much time in the story process that I like fuck myself.
Yeah. We all gotta stop giving even like one shit about what anybody thinks of us.
I know. I was just talking about that with my brother. Like, oh, well, if you're not caring about what people think, then just make whatever the hell you want. And I was like, yes, that is the thing I said. And I don't do it, and I don't know why.
No, it's hard. It's hard, for sure. It's just like, no work of art is going to be perfect ever. Even we were just talking about, like, the whole midi-chlorian storyline and how everybody agrees that that's the stupidest thing that they ever could have done.
Yeah.
And yet, look how still incredibly, insanely successful the Star Wars franchise is.
And I think we can all agree that they should have taken the Eagles. That they should have taken the Eagles. Oh, and Lord of the Rings. That from step one, they should have taken the Eagles.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Yeah. I'm going to get a glass of wine.
Okay.
Or like another one. Should we keep talking about the misanthropy of fantasy?
Or should we write something?
Oh, I guess we should. What time is it?
Well, so since we've been chatting in depth about fantasy, should we do a fantasy-related theme-a-doodle-doo?
Ooh. I like the consistency. I like the idea.
An arc through an entire episode?
Let's rewrite all of Star Wars to make it fit our needs in a poetic couplet format and pitch it to George Lucas and Disney and Kathleen Kennedy and see what the fuck they think of our shit.
So Star Wars but Shakespeare.
Shake stores. Shake. Star
Spears.
Star Spears. Star Spears. That's what a lightsaber is. Oh, yeah, it's annoying. True. Okay. Yeah, no, let's do fantasy poems. So, we wrote fantasy poems.
We did.
Yes. And while we were away, Nat and I came up with a delicious idea.
Delicious.
Just so tasty. Like something you'd find wrapped in a leaf on the side of the road.
In the fantasy world or in real life?
Either way, we're both going to get dysentery.
Again with the dysentery.
That is like my go-to old world disease. What, rickets?
Oh, mine was the consumption.
Oh, yes, the consumption.
You know he ain't been right since he came down with the consumption.
Daddy ain't been daddy no more. Not since he came down with the fever and the blood in the coffin.
We did come up with a sort of fantasy idea that I said I was bad at kind of fantasy writing. And so Cory had the idea that he would write something in this fantasy world, and then my poem would be the poem that this adventurer happens upon.
Yes.
On their travels.
And that's all the information that we gave each other.
Yes.
So just knowing that I had to end mine at some point, like with the main character or with like the subject finding a poem. And then Natalie knowing that like you were also writing for a character, but you're writing as a character would write. Kind of. Or like,
yes.
Yeah. Or just like you're right. Yeah. Yep.
Great. So basically, Cory's story is going to lead to my poem, which was written within this fantasy world.
Yes.
So I guess we'll go right one into the next. So
yeah.
Lead the way.
Okay.
Malshare.
Okay. Do you want to pause in the middle for like comments, or should we pause after both of our poems?
I think we should pause after since it's going to feed one right into the next, which is kind of cool.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. The trumpet flowers are playing this morning, low and casual as they drip off the dewdrops, made glinting, falling stars as the sun crests the ridge. I think I can almost see the silhouette of the mountains recede across the valley as the sun stretches its arms high and wide. The stillness in the daytime sleep of the vociferous night creatures and the barely unburrowed day critters leaves the perfect moment to head out. Wading through waist-high wheat, cutting a trail that feels like it bisects the untouched world. My footprints are the only signal that anything unintentional lives here. But there are the towns and the taverns and the smoke pluming in the distance. But for just a moment, I think I'm the only sentient creature alive. The river is mumbling to itself this afternoon, never quite finishing a thought before flowing to the next. Playfully fighting with the boulders made rocks, made pebbles, made sand. The fairies like to dance on the lily pads by the shore. They sleep in dahlia petals, or so I've been told, but I've never seen them. Just the flitting past my ear, but that could be a dragon or a fly. I hate to trouble the water and interject, but I clear my face from the night before and struggle to find a spare rag. I graze a soft, spongy brick. Once my eyes settle, I realize it's not a brick, but a leather-bound book, hugged with muddy, loose twine and scratched to high hell, no doubt from the rocks in the water, or maybe the fairies searching for scandal. I suppose I have a bit of time to kill. A story and a snack by the river sounds quite refreshing, actually.
May there be flowers along your way, my love, a gentle tide to sweep you home. I thought it would be the willow, where I pledged you my heart and its beating. I thought we'd see 1,000 sunsets together. Watch the roofs grow mossy and ourselves sink a bit too. Every year a bit closer to our earthen end. I thought we'd sing our slow and simple lives as duet. I imagined we'd watch every storm roll in, as we ourselves became the weathered ones, living on the hill, loving in the willows. How am I to be but one? Only my own wilting hand to hold the rain instead of holding yours in the deluge. How to love on the hill when no longer will your feet tread its grasses. How to sip the wine without the berry of your lips on the other glass. How to walk amongst these willows when they bow not to you. How spins the sun when its daily spectacle bleeds not for your eyes. How to pass these endless days of absence. And worse, how to pass the wretched nights. No light of moon bouncing off your perfect cheek to guide me to my rest. Perhaps without your glow, I will have to find another lighthouse to show me the way. Or maybe the sun's harsh fleck off the river's 2 high banks have already lit my path.
My entire body is so hot right now.
Hot?
Yeah. Like it was just,
Why?
I'm very flushed. That Could have been the wine. Could be the wine. However, that was just so... Whew.
It's sad.
Yeah, like...
I didn't mean to make it that sad, but then I was like, I guess she's dead.
Or, like, I mean, you don't say specifically that she died. You just say that she's gone. Like he's just bemoaning loss. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I had all these plans for us, and now, like, we're not. And what the line, and I was literally going to call this out when you said it, but then I was like, nope, let her finish the poem. Weathered like the rocks. Is that what you said? You said weathered. You, like, used...
Yes. So I talked about watching the storm roll in, and then I said, as we ourselves became the weathered ones.
Yes, Jesus. The weathered ones?
Because I was just thinking about, like, these... I just was thinking of, like, a very simple couple that, like, fell in love, and we're just gonna live in, like, a little grassy knoll with a willow grove, and then she died real young. The consumption got her. And Papa ain't never been right since.
All he does is stare out that window and look at the weather. He knows the rains are coming, but it never finds its way across the field. We ain't had water here in 25 years. Oh. Sorry. I was...
There hasn't been a raindrop around here in 84 years. No, but I just had this vision of, like, this couple just, like, wanting to grow old together, and they'd, like, sit on their porch and watch storms roll in, and their hands would get, like, more weathered with age. And then I was like, weathered storm, ha! I did it.
I think that...
Yours was awesome too. I loved all the like nature imagery that you used, and whatever character this was. I think we're writing the next Lord of the Rings.
Or are we writing the next script for the much, much better Peter and the what's his name? Who's the with the lightning thief?
Oh, Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson.
I did.
I was also thinking of Peter and the Starcatcher, which is...
That's what I thought you were going for at first, and I was like...
Did you also read that book series, or did you only know it from the musical?
I only know it from the musical, and I don't know the musical that well. Oh, okay. I know a lot of people love it, but I never... Well,
because it's Peter Pan. I mean, it's like right. Pre-Peter Pan, yeah. Peter Pan. Peter Pan. No, but that was...
Preternatural Pan.
There was also another one that I really like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they pair very well together.
I think they do.
Yeah.
And I almost want a third part in the future where your character...
Like the follow-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, so my thought, and like, I did leave it kind of vague because I didn't want to say it outright, but my thought is like, he's looking at this like rushing river and he's like having an Ophelia moment.
Yeah.
You know? And so I'm like,
yeah.
Like, did this just occur? Can your character save him and imbue new meaning to his life? Did they go on an adventure together? Is this D&D suddenly?
Are they gonna like fall in love now?
Are they gonna fall in love? Maybe.
Yeah. Because
maybe he's just indebted to his rescuer.
I may have gendered my character, but my character's not gendered, so my character could be anything.
Oh.
And just because your pansexual character was in love with a woman doesn't mean that they have to always be.
This is true.
In fact, my character could be a dragon. We don't know. This could be a Scalies.
I feel like since they referenced a dragon, they might not be a dragon, but maybe like a dragonborn, like a dragon humanoid hybrid.
Okay. Yes.
I'm getting so nerdy right now and revealing all of the intimate knowledge I have on Dungeons and Dragons.
This was our nerd episode.
It was.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Nerds unite!
Nerd! Oh, we went two different ways with our battle cry.
We did. My go-to sound effect for like warning someone that someone's coming or uniting or whatever. Just caw.
Oh, brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Oh my god.
Wow, this was fun. I think it was interesting for me because we were setting it in this like fantasy land. I felt the need for like heightened language a bit. So I normally don't write like this, but I thought it kind of had a cool effect, and even out of the context of it, I think they do pair really well together, but even out of the context of it, I feel like it could work.
Yeah, like I Googled the word vociferous because that felt...
Yeah, what is that? At first I thought you meant vociferous.
What does vociferous mean?
Like, very vocal.
Oh, no. So vociferous is maybe a word I made up. But it did come up in the dictionary, so it's also a song, I guess. But it means... well, there was one that was telling me that it means like very kind of rabble-rousy. Or like rascally or roguish. But then there's another one that having a forked appendage. But I don't... Ooh. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. So I never knew that you were like a big D&D person.
Big D&D person is like a
mini D&D
a bold
person.
Statement.
So you're like a halfling.
I have played a couple campaigns.
Okay. Well, you've created a couple campaigns.
No.
You've just done them. You've just done them.
I have just yeah. I've just participated in other people's campaigns.
Yeah.
Once during a theater contract, which was really fun. We were sort of remote and there wasn't a ton to do.
Yeah.
So it was a fun thing, like on our, like, especially once we opened all the shows, we just had a lot of free time.
Yeah.
So we play like during the day and then have our show at night, or, even sometimes we did it after the show because we were all like always like hyped up after the show.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna put to put it up high. So I played once then, and then I played a Zoom campaign during COVID. And then I've played some like one-shot moments.
Yeah.
I've had fun with it. I really enjoy like creating the characters. I'm really bad at like the math aspect of it.
Oh, I don't like that.
But I've had some good people, like good DMs, help me with that part. So that's been good.
I think I just want it where no one ever actually dies. We don't actually have to do math. And I don't want to do math.
I had a character that I really loved during the COVID campaign come really close to dying.
Oh. Mine died.
So I think mine might have died if we had kept playing.
Yeah.
But I had a close encounter with death that then had me I was literally a double amputee. He had like whatever enemies we were fighting, he had them chop off both my legs because I got knocked out and the party did not save me. So to teach them a lesson, he cut off both my legs.
Bastards.
And then so then we like had an encounter with Vecna, and I guess Vecna has this ability to like, if you come close to death, he can like
take you,
kind of fuck with you.
Yeah.
So I was like infected with some sort of like, it was like a near-death experience disease, and I was then trying to kill the party members.
That's wild.
And then we did a dungeon crawl in my mind.
What's a dungeon crawl?
Oh, so it's like...
Oh, like a bar crawl?
No. So it like a bar crawl, but there's like a new enemy behind every door.
Ooh, okay, that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
So like have you done campaigns before?
I have. I've done a couple.
So like if you've ever had a moment where it's like you're in one part and you fight one enemy and then you defeat them and you go to the next like holding cell in the dungeon and then there's a dragon there. And you don't beat that because it's a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of thing.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah.
I love saying, well, at least I haven't said it in a while, but when we were doing D&D, and somebody would say something like outlandish, I would be like, why don't we roll a continuity check on that one? But just like in general conversation.
Continuity check.
I love it. You just like sub in any word and you're like, okay, we're going to roll a sanity check real quick. 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. But yeah, I enjoyed the time I spent playing D&D.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I do wish that it was a little looser as a thing. Like it's very strict.
There are other like role-playing games that are a little looser.
Yeah.
Which I've also tried some of, and they're very fun.
Okay.
Yeah, like I do think like some of the spell casting things and like the hit point things, they get a little too rigid.
Yeah.
And then it's like, can I get a point of inspiration here for having the idea and the audacity to try this?
Yeah, like I would just...
And it kind of depends on your DM.
That's the thing. I want a story, and then I want to like drink with my friends, and I want to just have like an outlandish time where just like a bunch of like monstrous shit happens. But yeah. You
should do like one shots then.
Well,
those are like fun and like quick action.
We did like 1 or 2 one shots, or we did like a 1-2 shot, which was like a 2 session. But then we have this one friend, and he's done D&D a lot. He really loves doing D&D. He's very committed to it. He loves being the DM. And he was like, do you guys want to do like a full campaign? And we're like, sure. And I think in our minds that was like 4 or 5. And he was like, okay. He's like, that could take up to 6 months. And we were like, that sounds like a lot.
I know people who have just they just do an ongoing campaign, and they've been running it for like over 2 years. Yeah.
Which would be wild. I mean, like very fun, but also very wild. Yeah.
Well, it's like, I don't know about you, but my schedule is always all over the place.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you were in Washington last week and
Panama the week before.
Yeah. Right. So, I like finding a set time once every week that I could do that is like out of the question. So it was cool, like during those special and specific times to have been able to do it, but I just don't think it's like feasible for me to probably do it anymore. Yeah. Unless there's, another contract where someone wants to like run that.
Or another pandemic.
Well, hopefully not.
No,
I've had plenty of the panini.
But we'll know what to do next time.
Will we?
No.
Because I feel like whoever lived through like 1907 that they had another panini?
No, I think it was almost exactly 100 years, wasn't it? I thought it was like...
Yes.
It was just before the Roaring Twenties, which is why the Roaring Twenties were a thing. Because they were like, none of us died, let's dance in our underwears.
That was the theme song. I don't know if you knew that. That was the official theme song.
Well, I did. That's why I sang it, because I knew the theme song.
No, I was saying to the people.
To everybody else. That was the official theme song of the 20s. They actually replaced the national anthem for 9 years. And when you had to stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem, all the kids had to sort of do the Charleston. And they all had to like freeform scat.
And then 1929, when all of that collapsed, then that's when they brought back in the pledge and the whole, oh, say,
can you
sing?
Perfect.
Anyway, this has been lovely.
So honestly, so lovely.
Thank you for indulging in all the nerdiness with we.
Sorry, I was gonna contribute. I was about to sneeze, and I was like, I want to contribute, but I don't want to.
Cucumber. Did it go away?
Why did you say cucumber? Dolphins.
No, because apparently, if someone's about to sneeze and you yell something random, like cucumber, they'll stop.
Alakazoo.
That sounds too much like a sneeze.
Oh, yeah, it sounds a lot like it sounds like a lot like a chew. Well,
we were trying, sorry, this is unrelated, but we were trying to teach my nephew to say shoe because he's talking a lot now, and he picked up my brother's shoe, and so his mom was like, Wesley, say shoe, and he went, Aww. And I was like, because he thinks sneezes are the funniest thing.
That's adorable.
And so then he and I were going back and forth for like 5 minutes just going, chew.
Okay, I love hanging out with like little kids who are like lively little kids. But I went to a party like 2 or so years ago, and it was a housewarming. And there was this little girl with curly hair whose birthday was the same day as mine, but she was like 2 or 3 or something. And like she was literally like hopping around the apartment like a frog or like a kangaroo. And her mom like seemed kind of mildly annoyed with her. So then I started hopping like a kangaroo and like following behind her, and she fucking loved it. And I was like, I'm just gonna play with you. I don't care about these adults. I know that I'm like the youngest person here except for you, and you're 3. So like, let's just have a good time.
I love that.
It was so sweet. And so
he's really fun right now. Like there was like the initial shock of like, oh my God, baby. And he was just like a blob, but we didn't really care.
Yeah.
And then, but like now he's getting so fun.
Yeah.
Like he likes things, he doesn't like things. He's got things that will like make him laugh. Like, oh my God, the cutest thing I've ever witnessed. My brother was chasing him around and was like, I'm gonna get ya. I'm gonna get ya. And he was trying to like, because he's just started walking. And so he's like toddling around.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna get you. So he tries to go faster and he's like, ah. And then so my brother scoops him up, and he, like, the laugh that came out of him was like chimes from heaven.
That's so
I was
sweet.
like, oh, so cute.
Did I show you the video of my cousin helping me pick colors for this project I was doing for work?
No.
So I went to go visit
Send it to me.
I will. I went to go visit my
send
cousins.
you-
This was like months ago though.
Okay.
Like when I went to Austin, did I talk about this? Like I went to Austin, and I visited my cousins, and they've got like younger kids, and like the last trip that I went on, he was very like hide behind your mother's leg shy, and then this one I showed up and he ran to me and he was like, Uncle Cory's here, and I was
Uncle
like,
Cory.
ah!
Oh. My heart.
But yeah, like I was about to leave, and I was like doing stuff on my computer, and I showed him like this game where you can just like make little towns, and he fucking loved it. And then I was like, I actually have to work. And I was like, all right, what color should I pick? I was like, should I pick this one? He goes, no. And I was like, what about this one? He goes, no. And I was like, what about blue? And he goes, not blue. And I was like, we're running out of colors. It's very sweet though. It was very cute.
We gotta exchange cute baby videos. My nephew loves my dad. Like, we were all leaving, and we were like, can I have a hug goodbye? And he was like, not having it.
Yeah.
And then my dad goes to put his coat on, and he was like,
oh.
And he got so sad, he was like, make his little, like, pee sounds. It was so cute. And he was like,
sad.
It was so cute. I was like, I don't know why you only love him, but I don't even care.
I'm gonna cry.
I know, it's so cute.
And with that, always remember.
Don't ever forget.
Oh wait, or should we say it in the nerdiest way possible? Because that's always.
Actually,
Thank you for indulging us
we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate you coming to this session of the campaign. This was really important that we get all the character work figured out, and that we got started on the quest.
I know this is only a one-shot, but we need to have this initial session to set everything up. And the next time that somebody brings snacks, remember that I can't eat chicken for the next 4 weeks until my antibiotics are over.
Yeah, guys, seriously, please don't forget that, because you forgot last time. And Cory got really sick.
Yeah, and also, if you could stop using the eye patch pads that I put underneath my glasses to filter out light as pads and tampons in the bathroom, I would really appreciate that.
What? And on that note, just always remember, make sure that you always remember, because it's important.
And if you forget, it's not like the worst thing in the world. I mean, like, never forget it.
Great.
It's not great. It's not great. We're not trying to encourage you. Like, if you want to forget it, that's your prerogative. But also, never forget it.
And if you want to do yourself a favor, don't forget it.
Yes.
That.
Goodbye!